Let's get into our first question, shall we? And this one is to do with, I guess, the fundamentals and some of the things that you help teach people. And it's the importance of knowing why you are using an event as a tool. Can you share your thoughts on that? Why is the why so important?
Look, the why is super important. And before I engage with anyone and I'm working on an event, or they approach me and they say, look, we want to work with you, or we're thinking of holding an event, we're not sure. And I'm like, yeah, let's have a chat.
Yeah.
And then I ask them, what does this mean to the organisation? Because if they understand why they're holding this event and what it means to the organisation, then usually I can filter it down and to start to understand how does it fit into the bigger picture.
Right.
People see events as silo. They say, oh, we're just doing another dinner, or we have to do this, or we've been doing it for the last few years, so we just need to do it because that money in our cash flow. But you're not actually getting anything out of it. And look, there are plenty of event planners out there and that can help you with that. But my biggest value is strategically looking at why is that event so important for the organisation, and what is the value it brings overall in the next 12, 18, 3 years. How do you grow it? And a lot of people these days want to understand how the events fit in, because the event is such a massive tactic in the strategy of your whole organisation. It should not just sit under one banner, and it shouldn't sit under one team. The whole building, the whole office should be part of it. You know, when you're talking about campaigns, like, I mean, Shave was a great example. We couldn't do it just me by myself. You had to integrate the nurses, the support workers, the volunteers. And there's countless examples like that. So why is really, really important. And from middle management to CEO level, even sometimes the board, you know, getting them to understand why this event has to happen.
And I guess you see people that think that they have to have an event, like, you know, next year's my 25th anniversary of my business, or we've got a 50th since our charity was set up, and they feel like they have to do something, but without knowing what sits under that why. It's like, it's not just a nice thing to have.
And when I do a lot of the workshops, I talk to people about how events evolve and why that's really important. And I think you know about this. We call it the 3 C's, the clarity, the charity, and the commercial, which we'll delve into a bit more. When we start with the clarity is, as an organisation or in that workshop, who are we serving? Why is this event important? And the event might not just be one event. It's a tactic to a bigger problem, or a solution to something you're trying to delve into. And there's a great example. We're working with Women's Health Victoria at the moment. They celebrate 25 years next year. I had a workshop with them a few months ago with 19 passionate women who are the leading advocacy body in Victoria. And a lot of us women sit here because they've done so many things for us that we don't even know that they've challenged the government on our behalf. But it was interesting to get them all to understand this 25th anniversary. What does it mean to the people? And what we resonated with was the sector really knows about them, but everyone else doesn't. So how do I make noise? And what does that look like? And how, as an organisation, do you feel comfortable to make noise that goes against everything else that you do? And that's also challenging, because if you're an advocacy body, what, you want me to go out there and beat my chest and say how amazing we are? Oh, we don't do that. Well, you kind of need to, because if you can't depend on government funding, you need to build a donor base, you need to build relationships. This event, or these series of events, will help you get to that. Beautiful. And that's how we try and link it all in. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I mean, the work that you're doing there is starting to catalyse great transformation in organisations, the way they think about themselves. And let's face it, with government funding and the changes that are happening, we're seeing so many organisations that are starting to think more about building that community around them, building that brand community around the cause. You know, who else cares about this as much as we do? And
you're one charity out of how many? Victoria's got the highest charities in Australia, and I think it was like 60,000, 70,000.
Yeah, there's There's a lot. There's a lot.
There's a lot. And Victoria and New South Wales have got the highest percentage. So we're fighting for that dollar. And how do we stand out? And in the events world, I think in particular, events are not dying. People keep telling me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're not dying at all. People want more of this. People crave human interaction. We're so connected, yet we're so disconnected. Because me touching Julia and saying, oh my God, how are you going? Where are you at? Having that conversation versus online, an email, a text, an EDM, that's not connecting with people. You know, and over the years, I remember there's being Cup Week this week. You guys will appreciate this.
For those that aren't in Melbourne, the whole city is just basically in spring racing fever.
And we even had the day off yesterday for Melbourne Cup, which was great. But I remember my mentor, Kathy, went to the races and she was invited to the birdcage, and she always spoke about this example. And a guy in one of the birdcages and one of the big marquees, which is great opportunity, had won a lot of money off one of the horses, and he walks in, he collected his wad of cash, gets a $50 note and he throws it on the floor, keeps walking through, gets another one, throws the $50 on the floor. So being her working for Leukemia Foundation at that time, she's like, what's this guy doing with this money? Hang on. So she'd go behind him collecting the money, you know, as a good not-for-profit worker would do. Going, hang on, that could help someone, you know. Finally, she sits down and she had a wad of cash, right? She sits down and talks to him. This guy, believe it or not, won all this money, but ends up being a big creative executive. She starts talking about, well, I'm going to bring this to Leukemia Foundation. Can I have your details? I'll send you a receipt. He was like, yeah, sure. But they had a great conversation. And then, believe it or not, after that, they had a coffee, and he ended up being one of the largest creative agencies and owned a lot of the billboards over the freeways, you know. And now they're electronic and things. And he had a friend who was in hospital with leukemia at the time. So he became a big donor. He helped support us the following year with the campaign. But they're the kind of opportunities that you don't get to have. I mean, she was ballsy enough to go collect the money, which is great, but that is a great connection. Afterwards,
talking with people.
And I can't tell you how many. You can too. Like the amount of times we've done that. So events aren't dying.